Tesla was always on the verge on the bankruptcy. In the case of Virgin Galactic, they basically have no debt. If the capital markets don't dry out and they can raise on the stock market, then they pretty much can go on for years. The stock price is so low, it just can go up literally from here. Welcome to another space video here on this channel, and today we are talking about this book. I presented it already last, I think yesterday it was, right? And it is a book called Power Play, where they talking about the early stories of Tesla. And while I'm only about, according to my Kindle, about 25% in the book, it reminds me already a lot about the early days of space. Okay, there's so many things. And this is all over and over again, guys. If you are into the deep tech space like Tesla, SpaceX, or Virgin Galactic, you are actually seeing lots and lots of very similar stories. Some stories about delays, some stories about failure, and about the management, and so on and so forth. So actually, let's start with the delays. As you know, 2019, 2020 was a very difficult year for Virgin Galactic. Not only a couple of delays, but they were just slammed in the media, in CNBC, on other financial outlets that this will never happen, right? Never mass tourism for space travelers, right? Well, Virgin Galactic had a different plan, right? And did it anyway and shoot up their founder, Richard Branson, into space, and basically now preparing for the commercialization. So I think like the worst is already over. The stock price is so low, it's fantastic. So it just can go up literally from here. So I think that you might think, okay, Tesla is such a great company. Well, in the beginning, they had actually huge issues because they didn't have the battery supplier. They were still too small to produce the batteries by themselves. And then there was a huge problem because it was so dangerous to put those batteries in the cars that, you know, most of the suppliers actually refused to work with Tesla, and those who did work with Tesla were very scared, right? And this was about 2006, because 2008 by the way, they started to deliver the first roadsters, okay? The very first car that Elon Musk and his team produced, but on the way there, it was a hell trip, okay? Those delays were necessary because this technology was so revolutionizing that, you know, it really needed a really creative and smart and engineering way to make it right. Otherwise, the company will die anyway, right? So Elon Musk was on the line with the whole management and with his private money. And actually, the management is something that we talk next. So the next point is actually the team. The team of Tesla was very much impacted. But what you can go through is always this entrepreneur that is out there that really wants to save his baby for all it costs. Here's a small video where Elon Musk gets a little bit emotional about the time where he almost went bankrupt with Tesla.
Were you a little naive when you thought I can easily build an electric car and a rocket?
I didn't think it would be easy. Like I said, I thought they would probably fail. But you know, like creating a company is almost like having a child. So it's sort of like, how do you say your child should not have food?
So once you have the company, you have to feed it and nurse it, and take care of it, even if it ruins you.
Yeah.
But suppose there were some tough times in 2008, end of 2008. How did you get through that period of crisis?
Yeah. Can we just break for a second?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
beundrede iværksætter.
You want to wait a little while?
Men rejsen dertil har ikke været uden personlige omkostninger.
Man, I sure hope it was worth it. Sure hope it was worth it.
So as you can see, this kind of passion, I think, is mirrored also by Richard Branson. Even though I know what you're saying, like, oh, he sold and he wanted to save his other companies. Yes, obviously. Same like Elon Musk did with SpaceX and Tesla, right? He also said, okay, Tesla will get a loan from SpaceX to survive, guys, okay? So something like this is very, very common, specifically when an investor and a founder and an entrepreneur is really put on the line to say, okay, what happens if we don't get the money? The company will die, and nobody who worked like years, and Richard Branson put a lot of money on his own. You know, this is also what Shamas said, like, he had really skin in the game. Same like Elon Musk has skin in the game with Tesla. It's like super, super, super important to see this commitment. And think about how long Richard Branson actually had to wait with all this catastrophe, like the crash happening with the spaceship, until he really found himself flying on the spaceship. It took more than 10 years until that happened. This is absolutely crazy commitment, guys. 10 years, a whole decade, until you can fly for the very first time. It's one of the first flights to go to space, and that before your competition, Jeff Bezos. I mean, the story is just there. I love that how everything evolves, and that's why I love being investor into this company. And you are early, but let's dive into one last thing, which is financial, guys, okay? But before we diving into that, make sure to check out the link into the description as well as the comments. There is 50% off with 50 thanks, the code on my masterclass, the online video course on stock market investing, and also lifetime access on Discord, where we have hundreds of people discussing daily stuff, and also, you know, my day trades. I'm posting it there, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, with a lot of success. So let me know what you think. So next thing that I want to talk about is financials. You know, as a small startup and the company that they developed, still, even when delivered some cars, they were so close to bankruptcy. Tesla was always on the verge on the bankruptcy. Even when they introduced the Model 3, and the the scaling of the Model 3 was also so close to bankruptcy. And here is where I see the similarity to Virgin Galactic. I believe that as a private company as they were, it would be very, very hard for them to raise money in the easier fashion that they are now on the public market. And this is a great brainchild by Shamas. I think he saw the opportunity. He saw the opportunity of a SPAC. He saw an opportunity to actually use the public markets as the feed of the new, well-performed and well-crafted space company, as a pool of money where they usually need to tap in. I mean, those weeks and months are without any revenue, and until they ramp up and scale, they always need to tap that market and put a little bit of stocks out and raise, you know, $1 billion, $500 million, whatever the money is, okay? This is actually a great advantage that space have now, being a public SPAC. And I think that this is something that is really, really overlooked for many people. Tesla was for years very much in debt, so they were very close to bankruptcy if something doesn't work. In the case of Virgin Galactic, they basically have no debt, which is fantastic because this is reducing the chance of bankruptcy to basically zero, okay? If the capital markets don't dry out and they can raise on the stock market, then they pretty much can go on for years. Obviously they won't, but they could go on for years to really, really get fresh money every now and then from the stock market. So I really, really like the overall scenario here with the financials, and it shows me once again, you know, that entrepreneurship, great innovation in a product, in a company, and a hard-working team is something very, very, very prestige to a company that is changing the world like Tesla or Virgin Galactic.